Our grandparents did not talk about it. We had heard this from other elders, the story, the reign of terror, but they did not want to talk about it. So when David Grann wrote this excellent, well-documented book to show this is a true story, and it did not happen that long ago, we began to speak more and more. Then when we heard the movie rights had been sold, and a movie was to be made, we were concerned about how whoever was going to do this, how it would be done, and our voice would be lost. So when we learned Martin Scorsese would be the director, this was welcome news to us, but we still were on guard. Mm-hmm. So he comes into my office with Marianne and Emma and others. And if you ever spend any time with him, he is an open, honest person, and you can feel that. And we started with the understanding he would film in our homeland, where no one else had promised us that yet, and we were concerned. I invited him to meet our language, culture people, our teachers, our traditional people, and it was a process. Several dinners from communities invited him and his team to meet, and we grew closer and closer over a period of years. And COVID, the pandemic, hit in between. So we came back, we welcomed them, we picked right up where we left off. Now, there was a moment when I thought the surviving traditional leaders, some of our priests of the old ways, should meet with Martin Scorsese, and we did, and Leonardo DiCaprio accompanied him. And at first, no one would say anything, because Marty Scorsese is a great listener, and on all these dinners and meetings, he did most of the listening. And then at this meeting, our traditional leaders, they do listening too. So somebody had to step in and say, so I looked to the leader of the Gray Horse ceremonial grounds and asked him to say a few things. So once one started, then the rest just jumped right in. And we got to that level of our culture, private, quiet. We learned that if we stand out and try to show off, often we become under attack, or things don't work out well. So he worked in his team layer after layer after layer, and it was a process. And our people are behind the camera and they're in front of the camera. And some young cinematographers work with Rodrigo, and we have in our traditional dress, your people worked with all this. The language was learned. These actors worked so hard. It was something to see how hard they work, and great talent. So it was just layer after layer, and the result is better than most of us had hoped.
I think one thing before, that was part of the question about violence. I don't quite understand why the question, in terms of the fact that I think we know, and I've spoken to this in Ritu and Arar, because we come from places where violence is serious. It's a serious form of expression. And this film is a violent story. But violence can also come with a smile, you know, and love. And that's tricky. And so, you know.